Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. If you're an industry expert working at a denim jeans company, you literally breathe, cut, wash, and sew this material every single day. But let's be honest, how much of the story you've been told about your core product is actually true? Today, we're going to break down the real, centuries-old global history of denim. We'll strip away all the marketing folklore and reconstruct the actual facts of how this absolutely iconic textile came to be. Here is the agenda for today's masterclass. We're going to tackle the 1873 denim myth, define exactly what makes the fabric denim, trace its European roots in Nîmes and Genoa, explore the global history of indigo dye, look at American denim before the existence of blue jeans, and finally, pinpoint the real 1873 innovation. All right, Section 1, the 1873 denim myth, fact, and fiction. Let's jump right in and confront the biggest sacred cow in our entire industry. As denim professionals, you might have been led to believe that the fabric itself was born on the exact same day as the riveted blue jean back in 1873. You know, it's a beautifully simple origin story. One man, 1 year, one massive, groundbreaking invention. But as we know, history is rarely that neat. The reality? Well, denim actually existed decades before the blue jean. There's no way this fabric was just suddenly cooked up in a single workshop in 1873. Actually, the material you're working with today is the culmination of a much, much older textile evolution. Cotton, twill weaving, and blue dyeing, these were all completely established traditions way before anyone even thought about filing a patent for riveted pants. Moving on to Section 2. What makes it denim? Defining the fabric. So classic indigo denim is fundamentally a sturdy cotton twill. And because the weave is warp-faced, those blue lengthwise yarns really dominate the outside surface of the fabric. Meanwhile, those lighter crosswise weft yarns, they're left undyed and stay way more visible on the reverse side. It's this specific interlocking structure that gives us that absolutely iconic diagonal line you see when you look closely at the cloth. And it's exactly this warp-faced structure that totally separates denim from a plain woven cotton cloth like duck canvas. You know, it's not just about being blue, and it's not just about being cotton. If you don't have that diagonal weave, well, you don't have denim. Okay, Section 3. Tracing Nîmes and Genoa, origins of the names. Now, the word denim is famously tied to the French textile city of Nîmes, coming from the phrase serge de Nîmes. But if we look at historical accounts, serge de Nîmes wasn't exactly the all-cotton fabric we use today. Actually, it often included mixtures of wool and cotton. On the flip side, the Italian port city of Genoa gave us the word jean. Cloth from Genoa moved all over European trade networks, but historically, jean referred to lighter cotton twills, which is pretty different from the heavier warp-faced denim. So projecting our modern distinction backward onto 19th century sources is a huge mistake. Today, obviously, we know jeans as the garment and denim as the fabric, but historically, they were not just two names for exactly the same cloth, and they definitely weren't invented in their final form in a single European town. Both of these cities are super important pieces of the etymological puzzle for sure, but neither is the sole birthplace of the modern fabric. Let's jump to Section 4, indigo, a global dye beyond Europe and America. The iconic blue color of classic denim has an incredibly deep history. I mean, indigo dyes were used extensively in Asia and Africa for literally centuries before blue jeans ever hit the market. South Asia, particularly India, was an absolute game changer here. Indian dyers mastered some really sophisticated methods for fixing indigo onto cotton. Those textiles were traded across the Indian Ocean and eventually had a massive influence on European and American markets. So what does this all mean? It means blue cotton cloth existed way, way before our modern fabric. And unlike a lot of other dyes, indigo requires a very unique chemical process. First, you have to make the dye soluble, then apply it to the yarn, and then, this is absolutely crucial, oxidize it in the air to develop that deep, rich blue color. This was already a highly established dye technology centuries before the massive industrial expansion of denim production. So if the weave, the names, and the dye all existed globally, when did they finally come together? That brings us to Section 5, American denim before jeans, early American denim. By the early 19th century, American textile manufacturing was just exploding. Mills up in New England were spinning and weaving cotton on a massive industrial scale. And because of this, denim could be readily purchased as finished cloth by merchants and garment makers, long before rivets were even a thought. And we actually have hard physical evidence of this timeline. There are surviving denim work trousers preserved right now at the museum at FIT that date all the way back to the 1830s or 1840s. Just think about that for a second. We literally have a physical object proving that all cotton denim trousers were being made and worn in the US decades before Levi Strauss even set foot in San Francisco. All right, bringing it all together with Section 6, the real 1873 innovation, riveting the fabric. When Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis started producing their famous waist overalls back in 1873, they didn't weave some kind of new miracle fabric. They actually sourced their denim from the Amoskeag Manufacturing Company in Manchester, New Hampshire, which was already a major, fully established textile producer. Their true, undeniable innovation was combining this existing, super durable workwear fabric with a brand new reinforcement method, metal rivets. That 1873 patent completely changed the construction of the trousers, but it absolutely did not invent the cloth itself. As industry experts, knowing that your product is the result of a global, centuries-old evolution, from the dye vats of India to the twill looms of Europe, and finally to the industrial mills of New England, well, it fundamentally changes how you view your everyday work. Denim is a survivor. It's a fabric that just continuously adapts. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought as you head back to the design floor today. If denim evolved for centuries before the rivet was even introduced, how are you going to evolve it next?